Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. OP, you sound like one of the best managers to work with. In every other story, you see managers take the customer's side and make the employee's life miserable. It's good to see a manager that defends his employees. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. I'm the manager Karens hate. I managed fast food for a while. One of the best things about my job was how much privilege I was given with deciding what customers were worth keeping. Karens hated me, and it was fantastic. I was often given the line, "You're the manager?" "Yes, ma'am." Karens I've spoken to. Karen, I picked up food in your drive-thru and drove 30 minutes home, only to find out that my fries were cold. Me, I'm sorry, but fries really only stay hot about 5 minutes. There's nothing we can do about your drive home. Karen, I ordered a chicken sandwich and I was given this god-awful thing with cheese. Me, looks down to see a chicken sandwich with cheese. So you'd like a god-awful thing without cheese? Karen, your company policy is to accept competitor coupons. You have to redeem this for a meal. Me, actually, ma'am, I don't. That policy is a general rule of thumb that allows us to gain new customers by honoring competitor coupons and hope that they'll be fans of our food instead. You've been in here the past 5 days getting free meals with the same competitor coupons. We have no obligation to give you free food. You are no longer welcome in this store. Go see competitor. It's insane how many Karens try to make up a corporate policy that's never been a thing ever just to try and make us do something. Try to make their voice bigger by using oddly relative phrases. Survey says, we don't like it. What survey? Nobody likes it when you do this. Literally everyone but you appreciates that. Try to get free food by acting infuriated by something completely normal. Try to get everyone in trouble for food they personally don't like. But my all-time pet peeve with Karens is when they specifically single out pretty girls to try to tear them down. Generally speaking, Karens are moderately overweight. No man has really wanted to see them naked since they were 19. These skinny, attractive girls on my team got the worst treatment from Karens. I did my best to take over for them and take the heat. The most mad I got was over the phone. Usually, if you call a restaurant to complain about something, you should ask to speak to the manager. If you aren't that accustomed to it, maybe you just to complain to whomever answers the phone. I had a woman call once that crossed a line. Let's call the employee Pretty. Me, name of restaurant, what can I do for you? Karen, I'd like to speak with Pretty. Me, may I tell her who's calling? Karen, my name is Karen, but she doesn't know me. I'm a customer she saw earlier. Me, seeing where this is going. Pretty is working right now. I'm her manager. Is there something I can help you with? Karen, Pretty gave me food earlier. I asked for extra ketchup and I only got 5. And she gave me my drink too full so it came out of the lid some. I really want to talk with her about how to handle an order. Please give the phone to Pretty. Me, actually the standard amount of ketchup for one meal is 3 packets, so she did give you extra. And she didn't fill your drink. Someone else does that. This is exactly why complaints come through a manager. It's my job to direct my employees when they have done something wrong. It's completely inappropriate for you to try to speak with her yourself. I believe she mentioned you. Pretty told me that a lady came through that was very condescending despite Pretty being completely professional and intentionally kind. She's one of my best employees, hardworking, attentive, kind, and respectful to customers and coworkers, not to mention one of the fastest cleaners I've ever seen. This is a franchised restaurant, not a chain, therefore private property. I'm officially informing you that you are no longer welcome on our property. If you come here again, we can have you arrested for trespassing. F. Karen. And our second story. Rude neighbor catches husband's petty revenge. So this happened a while back when we still lived in the Houston area. We lived in a cul-de-sac, the corner house on a big lot at a 4-way intersection. Our neighbor diagonal from us decided he needed more room in his garage, I guess, and decided to move his Chrysler 300 to the street in front of our house. Our house had a lot of road frontage, so it wasn't unusual for someone to do that occasionally. We parked on the street often too. It wasn't an issue. This neighbor, though, left his car there without moving it for weeks, without even mentioning it to us. He even parked in a crappy way that prevented someone else from comfortably parking there. My husband is the pettiest, and he got fed up and started letting air out of the guy's tires, starting with the ones on our side of the car so the neighbor couldn't see from his house. The tires got pretty flat all around, and he still hadn't noticed. Then, after a month of it being parked there, we finally called the county and reported an abandoned car. I mean, how are we to know it was his car if he never bothered to talk to us? They stickered it, and he had 48 hours to move it. We saw him out there with little time to spare, airing up tires and jumping the battery. He never spoke to us, no apology or, hey, this is my car, I live over there, etc. He never parked there again. We did catch some dirty looks, though. Edit to add. I'm not sure I made this clear. We never expected anyone to ask to park in front of our house. It's a public street and everyone in the area would park there occasionally, mostly guests of neighbors. Had he mentioned to us that he planned to just leave his car there for the foreseeable future, we would have asked him to at least park it in a way that left room for others. Also, he did have an empty garage and space in his driveway and space in front of his own house. All of this led us to respond in kind with equally rude behavior. After all, this is petty revenge, not how to solve things with your words. He left the car there for a month that we knew of. We first saw it after a 2-week vacation and never moved it. Started it, nothing. Literally left it till the battery died. The county told us that there was plenty of time, no matter whose car it was, to be considered abandoned. And our next story. We like the BMW better. This story is what happened the day we came home from the funeral of a family member. We're flying home after our family member's funeral, and my husband's sisters, Millie and Mary, accompany us and are coming to a memorial service the next day. On the flight, one of the sisters, don't remember which, tells my husband that they don't have a rental car reserved. My husband says, "Sorry, can't help you. We're getting picked up by our neighbor." He tells them they can use his corporate discount at XYZ Car Rental and get a great deal. Problem solved? Not a chance. After we land, we're waiting for all the luggage. We had 2 bags for the 4 of us, and they had 8 for 3 people. Obviously, we had our luggage long before they even had half their luggage. Our ride shows up, and we tell Millie, Mary, and nephew to call us when they get settled at the hotel. We made reservations for them near our home and close to the church where the service will be held. Note, they didn't want to stay at our house because we didn't have a pool, and they were treating this as a mini vacay. Hours go by, and we haven't heard from anyone. We call, we text, we call Mom, but nothing but radio silence from the terrible trio. 4 hours later, they finally call my husband. We find out they are not in the hotel we arranged, extended stay place with in-room kitchens and an outdoor pool. It was July. They are at a freaking 5-star hotel about 45 minutes away. When my husband asks what happened, Millie tells him the lines were too long at the car rentals, but the limo rentals had no one in line, so we took a limo. And the limo driver was so nice, he told us he could take us to a better hotel, one with an indoor pool and room service. So that's where they went. Stuck at a really nice hotel, still with no car. I suggest to my husband, after he calmed down, that his sisters could just use my car. We wouldn't really need it for the next few days. My husband calls his sister back and tells her that I will allow them to use my car as long as no one smokes in it. This is a hard rule with me, and they agree. We drive to the hotel, and my husband, who's still fuming, says just drop the keys at the desk for them, and we're out of here. So I walk in with my car keys, go to the front desk, and tell them that I'm dropping off keys for Millie and Mary, and could I use an envelope? As I'm writing down where the car is parked, Millie and Mary walk up to the front desk, so I just hand over my keys, tell them where the car is, and turn to leave. The girls follow me out to the parking lot, said they wanted to say hi to my husband and ask if we wanted to go out on the town tonight and do it upright, who was parked next to my car, small 4-door sedan, in his new BMW. When they looked at the keys and saw they weren't to the BMW, they lost their fudge. Millie starts, "We need a bigger car. We have more stuff." Mary complains that the sedan would be too small for nephew, big boy, and she'd feel better in the Beamer. My husband barely makes eye contact with anyone, tells me to get in the car, we've got arrangements to make, and off we go. The girls call Mom, of course, and complain to anyone who would listen, but they didn't get to drive the Beamer. Oh yeah, they were 45 minutes late to the memorial, dressed in tank tops, cut-off shorts, and flip-flops. And the kicker, Millie and nephew are smoking as they get out of my car. Jeez. At the point of them getting a 5-star hotel, I would have stopped doing anything for them. And our last story. Neighbors and their friends are trespassing on my property to get to lake via my private dock. I recently purchased a lakefront cabin with a private dock. The cabin's located at the end of a peninsula. This Sunday, I visited it and discovered about 10 people on the frozen lake in a giant pickup truck parked on my property. As I was getting out of my car, the neighbor, whom I never met, walked past me with her 2 dogs and a pizza and approached my dock. I saw a guy from the group of 10 meet her on my dock and she gave him the pizza. I told them they were on private property and that they were trespassing, even though their sign saying so, and the guy seemed understanding, but the neighbor replied, "I've been doing this for 8 years." At which point I replied, personally, I didn't care, but what I didn't want was the liability of someone possibly getting hurt. They didn't reply, and I left it at that. They did move the truck, but I left, so I don't know if they moved anything back or continued to use my dock. Also in Massachusetts, the Attorney General has decided not to prosecute some crimes, trespassing being one of them. I don't know what bearing, if any, this may have. I'm considering installing a fence or gate that can control access when I'm not there. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.